I did a video about this before. This is the little 90mm APO-Skopar by Voigtlander. It's a 2.8 lens. It's that big. It's a great little lens, but you know, I want to push this fact. I just think this is one of the most underrated Voigtlander lenses there are. And I just wanted to do a quick outdoor shoot so you can see it and see the quality of the lens. It's absolutely stunning. And on the Leica M11, it really handles the 60 megapixels with no issues whatsoever. And I've said this before about, you know, lenses and megapixels. You know, Fuji's a prime example. When they put out their 40 megapixel sensors, and they said, listen, these are the recommended lenses, these are not, you know, that kind of thing, because lenses, older lenses can't resolve, even on Leica. You know, like if I use the Voigtlander 50 APO against the Summilux, believe it or not, you know, the Voigtlander 50 APO resolves better than the 50 Summilux. Now, I love the look of the 50 Summilux on the Leica, but it has an issue resolving 60 megapixels. There's just no denying it. When you put it up against the Voigtlander APO, and I'm sure the Leica APO, which I can't afford, the Voigtlander 50 APO and the 35 APO resolve so well on the 60 megapixels. So, you know, when you're picking out your lenses and you know, make sure you match them to the camera sensor, you know, because sometimes they just can't resolve. And this lens here, the 90, resolves so well. It's such a beautiful lens. It's lightweight. The size is, I mean, this is a 90mm lens, and the size is absolutely just pocketable for sure. And that's why I go with the Leica system, the M system, believe it or not, because I just like the small lenses and the ease of use and so forth. Anyway, here's a quick shoot with the 90 APO. If you have any questions about this lens, please feel free to ask. I've used this lens from everything from concerts to studio to casual. I mean, I love this lens. It's a fantastic lens. And the 2.8 is really not that hard to focus with the rangefinder. But I did use the VisiFlex for this shoot, just to nail focus so you can actually see the quality versus my mistakes. Anyway, enjoy the shoot.
I think I'm excited enough about the weather outside, you know, that's end of February and it's 55 degrees outside. That was as big of a push for me to go outside and shoot with this lens as the lens itself. But it was such nice weather. I figured let's go outside and play with this lens some more on the M11 because, you know, believe it or not, it is tough to resolve 60 megapixels with older lenses. Now, again, I'm not saying that I love the Summilux, I love the way it renders, but I get more out of the APOs than I do the Summilux. You know, when I'm a distance away from the subject and when I zoom in and so forth, it resolves a little bit better, if you will. But you know, it's a matter of opinion, obviously. But when I'm doing work like commercial work and so forth, I need that extra resolution. But we just literally, this was a quick casual shoot. We walked around, shot, had fun. But I wanted you to see how good this lens renders. I apologize for the color balancing here. I just, you know how I am with video and so forth. I just set it up and push go. But we did an inside shoot, and you know, the one in the outfit, she's like, let's go outside and shoot. And I said, you know, I definitely want to do a video on this lens again, so we'll do that as well. But the lightweight of this thing, the size of it, like coming from Canon and Sony and Nikon, you know, a 90mm on those cameras, you know how big they are. You know, even at 2.8, I mean, it's so tiny. And I did use the VisiFlex, not because I had to. Believe it or not, you can actually nail focus pretty easily with a 2.8 90mm. Now, if this was a 1.4 or that 1.25 75, you have to have the VisiFlex or be lucky, because it's hard with a rangefinder to shoot, you know, anything above 75, and 75 if it's that shallow depth of field. But you can nail focus with this 92.8 because that 2.8 gives you a little bit more latitude than, say a 1.4. But like I said, I had the VisiFlex. Why not use it and make life just a little bit easier for this shoot? So that's what we did, and the photos come out beautiful. The color, the quality of them, the rendering of this lens is beautiful. I don't look at vignetting and that kind of stuff, and I don't pixel peep to the point where it's like, I'm not a scientist. I'm not a camera collector for the best you can possibly get them. I'm looking for great quality photos in real world shoots. That's what matters to me. But this lens really is that good, and Voigtlander definitely holds up the APO name to where Leica is. I unfortunately I just can't afford Leica lenses. I would love the 50 and 35 APO from Leica because I like the size of them, but at $8,000, $9,000, $10,000, and the 35, even if you could possibly get one, the resellers on eBay are going 11,000 for those things. I'm really happy with the APOs on Voigtlander. Now the 35 APO is a little bit bigger, which is not my favorite, but once you put it on a camera, it handles well. The photos are stunning, and that size just goes away. And when I say it's a little bit bigger, it's a little bit bigger than the 50 APO. It's still a very small, manageable lens. So don't take that the wrong way. It's Voigtlander lenses. Anything with the M mount, they're small lenses, except for Voigtlander's new one, which is, it's a beast. But it's also an F1. So anyway, that's the quick shoot. That's the building where my studio is, and we're just walking back. So I hope you enjoyed the shoot, and thanks for watching.